From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Well, the cold is on the way, and it will affect an estimated 150 million people in the central and eastern portions of the U.S. in the path of this major winter storm. It will be harsh, and it will be dangerous, especially where the power is out and roads are covered in thick ice or deep snow, from Texas to Tennessee, Georgia, the Carolinas, and into Virginia. Energy demand will soar in the days surrounding and following this storm in much of the central and eastern portions of the U.S. as hundreds of millions of people turn up their thermostats. The risk of frozen pipes will also be significant, even in areas where power remains on during long-duration, sub-freezing temperatures. A preliminary burst of Arctic air chilled the Midwest and the Northeast on Tuesday and Wednesday. The upcoming cold wave from late this week over the northern plains and upper Midwest and areas farther south later this weekend to early next week will be the coldest of this winter so far. Atlanta is facing an increasing risk of a major ice storm that, in a worst-case scenario, could shut down travel for days. Ice accretions on power lines and tree limbs could trigger widespread power outages over the weekend. Power outages paired with sub-freezing temperatures could become life-threatening for those without generators or a way to heat their homes. AccuWeather's John Porter said people should be prepared for the risk of losing electricity and heat for days, possibly up to a week or longer in the hardest-hit areas of the storm. The combination of ice, snow, and bitter cold will likely slow efforts to repair downed power lines and clear the roads after the storm. Temperatures are forecast to dip to near freezing as far south as New Orleans, Jacksonville, Florida, and Brownsville, Texas in the wake of the storm. While those areas are not forecast to be in the path of the major ice storm, it does demonstrate the extent of the upcoming freezing air. Areas expected to get well into the deep freeze and receive ice and or snow from the storm, with the risk of lengthy power outages include Atlanta, Dallas, and Charlotte, with a projected low in the teens. Nashville is forecast to dip into the single digits. On the snowy side of the storm, where power outages may be more sporadic, temperatures are projected to dip below zero in Oklahoma City. This metro area may stay below freezing from Thursday evening right on through to Tuesday afternoon. Temperatures are forecast to drop below freezing and remain there for 48 upwards to 60 consecutive hours in Dallas, where widespread power outages are anticipated. AccuWeather's Emma Belcher said that even after snow and ice subside across the south central and southeast states, some locations will be slow to rise above freezing. Where it does get above freezing, it may only be for a few hours and is likely to be followed by refreezing of wet and slushy areas at night. Over the northern parts of the plains and the upper Midwest, away from the storm's ice and snow, temperatures will plummet below zero and stay there by day, with one or more nights with lows in the teens to 20s below zero. Temperatures in Detroit are forecast to drop to near 10 below, with 12 below zero in Chicago, 20 below in Minneapolis, and a possible whopping 40 below zero in International Falls, Minnesota. Winds will kick up well away from the storm over the upper Midwest. This will result in dangerous AccuWeather real-field temperatures of 30 to 60 degrees below zero. At this level, the cold is extremely dangerous, with a high risk of frostbite and hypothermia in a matter of minutes. The combination of severe cold and shoveling snow could put an extreme strain on cardiovascular systems in some individuals, even those in good health. So extreme caution is advised if you have to be outside for any length of time. That's all for now. Of course, you can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.